January 18th, 2021. That girl is poison. Welcome to the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by Matt Morgan and Justin LaBar, here to talk about tonight Alexa Bliss and her win over Asuka in the main event of the show. We got Randy Orton sporting a new look. We got Wrestlemania news on a Raw that certainly had its valleys along with its peaks. We're here to talk about it all tonight. Justin, welcome back to the show. I feel like it's been a while since I've seen you.
The Three Stooges are back. I love this lineup.
Absolutely. This will be good. Good times. And Matt and I are pulling double duty. We'll tell you about later in the show, but our after show is finally doing a little test run tonight. So we're going to have details about how you can tune in and listen to that live and participate. We'll talk about that a little later in the show.
What does your mug say?
Oh, it says, no, my first name ain't Baby.
Oh, my God.
Do you know what that's in reference to?
No, my first. Hang on. I feel like it's like a song lyric.
It is a song lyric, although this has a twist on side two, based on a deep cut. First name ain't Baby. It's Janet. Janet Privacy Control.
Oh, shit! I should have known that.
Yeah,
myself.
Because in the song, she says, "My middle name is Privacy. My last name is Control." And so my wife, we're watching the video, my wife said, her name's Janet Privacy Control. So I had this mug made for my wife for Christmas. And I had a few of them made. Solid inside jokes. So that entertaining than the humor we saw on Monday Night Raw tonight. Oh, my God. Was that David Krumholtz? Did we confirm that, Justin?
Nobody's confirmed it. That sure as hell looked like, I always refer to him as Bernard from the Santa Claus or the weird kid that Wednesday Addams falls in love with.
He was so good in Addams Family Values. He was so good in Life with Mikey. Jackson Callan saying $4.99 Jesus Bernard in a WWE ring. Who'd have seen that coming? If I were him, I'd deny it. I'd be like, I'm in Japan quarantining. There's no way I could have been there tonight. Like, I would really go out of my way to deny.
I'm 85% sure that was him, and I have no room to talk because I'm trying to pull back some LBs and I'm on a diet right now.
Sure.
But I did not realize that he had put on some pounds himself since the last time I saw him.
He gained a lot of weight for a role on an HBO show like 2 years ago. So, and I think he lost most of it, but clearly not all.
Okay.
But, I'm not one to body shame.
See, I didn't gain a lot of pounds for a role. I just gained some pounds. So if he did it for a money gig.
Hey, listen, completely U-turn here real quick. I got to give a shout out, guys, from Twitter, Irish Wrestling Entertainment.
Yeah.
They make the funniest memes that every Monday Night Raw podcaster is going through by having to watch every weekly Monday Night of Raw and what that feeling feels like right before the show starts. It's hilarious. I encourage you all to check them out, Irish Wrestling Entertainment. Their memes are hilarious and spot on.
Yes. Tonight's Smithers from The Simpsons. No, don't make me watch Raw. Wither and die. It was, it was up and down tonight. I liked some of the show. I didn't like all of it, but Leonza Duncan, $5 saying, how the hell did they get David Krumholtz for that? Yes, that's him. I watched The Deuce, which is great, by the way. He was on that show. Hashtag 10 things I hate about Drew. That's clever. The Deuce was what he gained all that weight for. An HBO show I still haven't watched. But Matt, The Deuce is from the creators of The Wire, which Matt and I talked about for like a good 10 minutes after the podcast ended on Friday night.
Such an underrated show. Not enough people have seen it. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true. When I talk to my friends about it, it's like, that's like an old corny show. What are you talking about? I'm like, what?
The best show.
No, it's a historical show. It's that damn good.
That was a good FX show, right?
The Wire, no, The Shield was on FX.
Shield. What am I thinking of? Where was the Wire? HBO?
HBO.
Yes.
Okay.
Dude, you will laugh, but you will cry.
You will cry, you'll get angry, and it's so good. So good. Yeah. But we're going to try and stay on topic tonight to get through this, because now we're going to have an after show, as it were, the official name, to get a little more off topic and take questions from the audience. It's going to be pretty cool. Jody Shauna Jenkins, Canadian, $5. Hey, Matt, is it just me, or does Elias kind of remind you of Billy Jack Haynes, the kind of looking movie?
I like that. That's a pretty damn good comparison, actually. Yeah. I didn't see it till you said it. Yes.
So Randy Orton tonight wearing an old school lucha-style mask to cover the burns he suffered from the fireball attack by Alexa Bliss last week.
Like
selling the injury. Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, this was, and this is my theme tonight. They did this edited. They didn't pull him out there in the ring, even though, and do a live promo. He did this as a pre-tape edited, and yeah, the scars and the burns you can kind of see, and the lucha mask. He looks like Mr. Destroyer, and yeah, this was good. I mean, what he had to say was good. I kind of actually like. They are starting to actually make me feel like they actually knew what they were doing all along. I don't know if they did, but by saying like, I lit the Fiend on fire. Here's why I didn't do it to Alexa, and now I'm being punished for my like. It actually feels like they're tying it together, and so I was cool with this.
Good stuff. Yes, sir.
It was a solid opening. It definitely furthers the feud. I think there's a lot of directions they can go in this. They can go with this. I mean, I'm curious when Bray comes back, although by the end it seemed like they were pushing almost a possession angle with Alexa at the end of the show tonight. This was cool. It was a good bookend. I think I was the most excited about this and then that last match against Asuka to see what was going to happen. We saw more of Ric Flair and Lacey Evans. Rick helping Lacey defeat Charlotte last week. Charlotte's reaction to that, which we had before. But tonight we got Lacey's words on the situation. Peyton and Royce attacked Charlotte before their match started. We went to Charlotte versus Peyton. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, Matt, how's this working out for you? The three-way heat here with
I
Peyton.
like. Yeah. I don't know about Peyton, but I do like Flair with Lacey. I like it. I like that they're giving her a spotlight, right? I think they're treating her more important, which I've been asking for.
Yeah.
The Peyton stuff, I still not feeling. I think she's incredibly talented. This ain't the right fit for her. I would argue it's not even the right fit necessarily for Lacey, but this is better than what they previously were doing with Lacey. And anytime they're putting Ric Flair into something, obviously means it's serious. They're giving it limelight.
I love Lacey Evans, but there was kind of a cool point where she comes out in a Flair robe and kind of like rubbing it in Charlotte's face. Here's my problem: is that like Rick has been in the corner of Charlotte's of so many matches for Charlotte. Every interview Rick does, and he does a lot. He makes himself available, and he speaks maybe more than the WWE might want him to in terms of the things he says. He is such a supporter of his daughter, which is great. He's a supporting father. I think he even at one point even said that Charlotte's better than he was in his prime, which whatever.
Yes.
But he's so supportive of Charlotte. It's kind of almost like the Heyman with Brock thing.
Sure.
Like
that's okay. I can suspend my disbelief though.
I'm having a hard time. They need to do more work to make me emotionally invest and believe in this, because
you'll never will. Bro, you never will. Even if he goes out and says, I hate my daughter's guts, I hope she dies.
Yeah.
You're not buying. None of us are going to buy it. It's his daughter. I think I'm cheating because I like Lacey so much that I'm okaying all of this just because she's being spotlit, maybe.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
No, I feel you. And because again, Matt, you and I are both big Lacey fans, and I'm happy she's involved in a big program, and she's out there with these two other stars, one a Hall of Famer, one a future Hall of Famer. But it's just like you guys got to do a better job setting up why Rick would have turned on his daughter, and you got to do a better job for me to truly buy into it. To get it. All I can think about, and I've seen memes, talking about memes, all I can think about when I see Rick and Lacey is I've seen people posting memes of like Anna Nicole Smith and the old guy that was 1 foot in the grave that she married. Or I see memes of Hugh Hefner with his Playboy.
Terrible.
That's all I can think about. But that's all I can think about.
Poor guy. Everyone felt so bad for him.
Well, not that bad.
Glenn, what was his name?
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh my God! But he was being played. Everyone kept saying he was being played. I remember it.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's my question: have they confirmed that it's romantic?
No, they're walking a delicate line of like make you use your imagination.
I've got some ideas based on Vince's past. I'm just worried that Vince is going to take this down a road that could bury Lacey forever, depending on how this turns out.
Well, you know what? I was there live in Washington, D.C. in March of 2001 when Vince McMahon made Trish Stratus get down to her bra and underwear and bark like a dog. She still went on to be okay. So I'm not going to say it's going to kill Lacey, but I do think that like I can see that like USA might have sent a memo to Vince saying we'd like to see more romance or more controversy, and Vince goes, "Let's put Ric Flair, the ultimate playboy. Let's have him steal away one of the other girls in the women's locker room." I don't know if that's true, but that's kind of how I'm starting to feel about this one.
I'm just thinking what they did with Ray and his daughter in that storyline. I could see Vince throwing some terrible old boy style twist at the end of this, of Charlotte exposing something. Like, I'm very worried.
Space Mountain, it never closes. Woo!
I don't know. But yes, they're insinuating they're having an affair, but maybe it'll just turn out they're just friends. Who knows? Anyhow, Charlotte pretty confidently beat Peyton Royce, kept that submission going after. So I like that they're making Charlotte more vicious with this. I mean, this is more of a heel turn.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I don't know who's the heel, who's the face.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. It's a very confusing storyline. Poor Peyton Royce. They broke up her and Billy Kay for this. Well, for her to be in this role, right?
In a time where women's tag teams are great to have if you have the depth, and they were like her and Billy Kay were actually like real friends. They like knew each other, like they had such chemistry.
Well, they came up together. I mean, yeah, and they had great comedic timing, great chemistry, great rapport. I don't know. It's just unfortunate. So after that, we had the Hurt Business interacting with Matt Riddle in the back. I popped when Bobby stomped on his foot, or when Bobby stomped on his foot at the end there.
That's it.
That's my analysis.
So, well, Justin, I'm sure this was your match of the night. Xavier Woods took on Mace with Retribution out there in the ring with him.
Yeah, all I can, again, I'm watching this and I haven't had to do this raw, I haven't had to watch critically for some weeks now, and I'm watching and I'm just like, I feel so bad for these individuals that are all in this Retribution deal. I'm sure they're all like good talents that are trying. They're doing whatever they're asked of because
okay. Can we talk about something more important?
This is just, I hope they better not waste 4 Royal Rumble spots on these guys.
Well, I think you're wasting minutes of the show talking about this silly shit. But I have much bigger fish to fry, which is why Twitter can't I go in and edit my tweet and fix a grammatical error that is really driving me nuts right now. So I just tried to tweet something real quick.
Oh, here, I'll do the retweeting.
No Holds Barred podcast. And I wrote No Holds Bar, B-A-R, like it's a freaking bar you go and hang out at.
No, the No Holds Bar. That's got to exist. That's a thing somewhere, right?
If not, I want the rights to it. I just came up with it. But what the hell, man? How come you can't edit your damn posts on Twitter?
Welcome to 2021, Matt. We've been asking for an edit feature on Twitter for years.
Sorry. I'm not big on Twitter. I like
let
IG.
Let me know if you retweet that, Matt. If you want to delete and retweet that, I
retweeted yours and then made my own.
Well, I'll retweet your one with the typo, and it'll be fine. People know what you meant. They're very understanding. They're very forgiving.
Man, you might have stumbled upon something. I mean, I know you don't drink these days, but I mean, you might have stumbled. We might have a bar to open in Florida called the No Holds Bar. That's a wrestling themed bar.
Dude, there's pictures of Zeus everywhere.
I admit I was a bit distracted tonight during Raw because I had this $1 million idea last night for snack gum, which is forget sweet gum. I want gum that's savory. I want like sour cream and onion and Cool Ranch gum and barbecue gum. Yeah, it's this idea I've got because Matt, you chew gum because it's got less calories when you don't want to eat something, but you get tired of like, fruit, mint, like, why don't we have some different food flavored gums that we can just get the sensation of eating without actually having the calories?
This totally sounds like you ripped off Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. There has to be that gum already on that movie somewhere.
I was looking for savory gum tonight. I was like Googling savory gum. Was that a gag in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? I haven't seen that in like 30 years.
Oh, such a good movie. It has to be. He made like these weird candies that tasted all crazy.
It was the everlasting gobstopper. You can chew
I remember that.
It never gets smaller. Slugworth wanted the recipe.
Slugworth! Great job, Justin.
By the way, shout out to Darla. No Holds LaBar.
Oh, it's good.
Darla, don't encourage. Listen.
But no, I want Cool Ranch gum. Nacho cheese gum. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's gonna
Love
catch
the
on.
Doritos, but why with the gum is it throwing me off so much? I like the flavor of it with chips.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But sometimes you just want the act. It's the boredom eating. So I mean, I haven't made a huge deal about this, but I'm down like 10 pounds since New Year's. And I've been big on the meal schedule and counting my calories and paying attention to things. But I find that the boredom eating, when I'm just sitting around, I just want to be just doing something, just have the action. So I've been chewing a lot of like Orbit gum, but I got to get something to change that up. I got some Bamba, the peanut snacks from Israel that are like cheese puffs with peanut dust that are low carbs. I just need something just to sort of munch on and just distract myself.
So I'm just going to straight up tell you guys,
Yeah.
if something tastes amazing, it ain't helping you.
He's not wrong, Matt, or
Yeah.
Glenn. He's not wrong. Like, I'm great job on that. Since New Year's, I'm down 8. And I have not had.
Good job, guys.
I've not had a drink of soda. I am on pre-planned meals. I am working out. My wife and I are working out every morning. Something I do for like just putting it in my mouth to like whatever and spit is I will do sunflower seeds.
Yeah.
What?
Huh? No, I got you there. You're on a delay.
I'm not editing this podcast tonight, Matt. We have to do an after show.
No, do not edit that. That was well put in there.
That was a good time. I've ate more green. I've had more green things in my mouth than I care to ever. I've had more.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. She's giving me an around the back ollie oop for me to dunk right now, Glenn.
Layup.
You can't do this to me.
But no, I agree. Pumpkin seeds are good. The way I've done it is we sign up for two meal kit services, one for lunches, one for dinner, but it's pre-made food. So we got Daily Harvest, which is all vegetable and fruit based. We do those bowls for lunch. And then we got Fresh and Lean for dinner, which is like pre-made, pre-portioned meals, which are very tasty. It's like 400 calories. But the great thing is you eat one and then you're done. There's no more. When I cook for myself, I can make a low calorie, but if it tastes good, I want to eat more of it.
Yep. We do Bistro MD. My wife's allergic to gluten. She was one of the first 10,000 people ever diagnosed as a celiac in the 80s. So we do a gluten-free Bistro MD. Great prepared foods that get sent to us. It's good stuff. It tastes good. Like I said, I'm just going. I'm digging deeper in the vegetable garden than I ever have.
Dude, Daily Harvest, it's expensive. And if anyone wants a referral code, hit me up on Twitter. I'll give you my referral code for that. But it's expensive, but it's just 100% plant-based. And it's very tasty, very good.
Listen, if you guys want to cheat, it's 2 a.m. I'm telling you right now, eat a cucumber, but dip it in what do you call it? Not in the normal salad dressing, but vinegar.
Yeah.
Not vinaigrette, vinegar. I swear to God, it'll make you feel full, and you'll feel like you cheated on your diet, even though you really didn't, because of the salty flavor taste of the vinegar. It's good stuff, though. That's what bodybuilders usually cheat on. And they also, they tell you not to do gum is because gum, believe it or not, creates air pockets in your abdomen. It's crazy, because that was my weakness when I'd get ready for stage bodybuilding shows. I would go the orbit route like you're talking about, but I'd also go the little squares. What are those little squares called? Which ones? That you just chew on and they become gum.
Not chiclets, but
ice something such. You know what I'm talking about. They're called cubes.
Yeah.
They're so good. Oh my God, that was my weakness. But even that, the sugar alcohol's in there.
No, I get it.
Retain water. So just,
and I got Smart Sweets. We've got a lot of different things snack-wise. But here's what I decided I'm going to do. I actually decided tonight, we were talking about it. I'm going to just focus on eating 3 meals a day that are like 500 calories each, because I would rather have that third 500-calorie meal than 500 calories of snack food. You know what I mean? Because I can do 1,000 calories throughout the day through lunch and dinner. I'm not a big breakfast guy. I could do that, but then I am burning that 500 calories with snacks. That's what I need to stop doing. It's better to just eat fruits and vegetables.
Are you comfortable? Can you with the virus and everything? Are you comfortable getting out of your house and walking for 20 minutes around your block or no?
I walk, so I mix it up. I'm trying to do a mix of yoga, of DDPY, of walking, and then virtual reality with they have a couple different fitness apps that do lunges and arm exercises.
I'm not saying to replace anything, but if you wake up and you do fasted cardio, it is the fastest way to make your body think it's taking in a fat burner, honest to God, and it spikes and jumpstarts your metabolism. All you have to do is for 20 minutes. Everybody watching this, as long as you're okay with your doctor, walk at a brisk pace, 20 minutes, and I swear to God, you'll notice it by day 2. You'll feel your metabolism spike. You'll feel yourself getting hungry. And everything you take in now, because you did it fasted, your body's pulling it in. And because it has nothing to take in as far as the food goes, because you didn't give yourself anything to eat first, it starts eating at the fat first.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why it works so well.
No, I remember.
That makes total sense, because my wife and I, we finish eating at 6:30. We get up in the morning, haven't had anything to eat, and we do 20-25 minutes of workout with weighted dumbbells, and like it's already made a difference.
That's really gonna wait till you see even more. That's really gonna pay off, bro.
So Mace won that match. We'll talk about the WrestleMania news in a moment, but Antoine Fair, $10, saying, hey guys, hope all's healthy and well. I have an idea. If Mania is a 2-night event again, what do you think of a King of the Ring tournament split into both nights to make King of the Ring a big deal?
I'm okay with that.
Is Mania, it's going to be 2 nights, Justin, this year?
This year it is, yeah. Yeah, look, King of the Ring is something we've all wanted to have back, but I say this, Vince, I mean, it discontinued as a pay-per-view like 17 years ago. Vince obviously has something in his mind he's made up that it is not, tournaments are not what he wants a pay-per-view to be around. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe Matt knows, but I've just settled. King of the Ring is always, it used to be that little like random spike and like, oh, let's do a few weeks of Raw for it to crown Wade Barrett as King Barrett. But Vince has made it that it is not pay-per-view worthy for whatever reason.
Well, what he does think is pay-per-view worthy is very questionable at best sometimes. So.
I don't disagree.
But no, we should we'll talk about that WrestleMania news, Justin. But first, I just want to give a plug. So, Matt, we're going to talk about diet more on the after show tonight. I think that's a good topic to cover with people's questions. I made a bit.ly link, so you need to download this app stereo, but please do it through our link. Go to bit.ly /aftershow118. That's for 118 today's date. bit.ly/aftershow118, or you can just click the link in my tweet or Matt Morgan's tweet. Sign up for the stereo app now. And what's cool about this app is you can send us an audio message while we're doing our conversation. Matt and I, we can play your messages on the air. We can answer your questions. And you guys are going to have a much greater role in this after show. We've wanted to do something like this for a long time. Stereo is coming on as a sponsor of this podcast starting next week. And as part of the deal, we said, you know what, this is the best platform we think to do this after show experience. bit.ly/aftershow118. Go there, download the app now. It's for Android and iOS. Create an account and be sure to subscribe, follow me and Matt. You'll get notified when we go live after this ends here on YouTube. And the podcast goes out. And the cool thing is, if you're listening to this podcast later on demand, you can actually go to that link and listen to the after show. So if you miss it live tonight and you can't participate, you can go and listen anytime, just like you would a podcast, and check it out archived. Jason McKay, $10, saying there's a poor old lady out there missing her drawers because Randy wants to wear them on his face. Talking about the mask. I thought Matt's
mask.
You know, I give him credit. I give you credit, Jason. You paid money to put it out there. And,
he paid $10, but it doesn't mean I have to laugh at it.
Yeah, Rob would be acting like it was the funniest thing ever. I am Air, $2, saying I'm sure we have 1 to 2 taverns in Wisconsin named the No Holds Bar. And Sean 3222 $2 saying the Blue Chew Cool Ranch Doritos flavor. There you go. Everything Cool Ranch was everywhere. Cool Ranch, nacho cheese won the war, but Cool Ranch won quite a few battles there as the dominant flavor in the early 90s.
I remember really thinking it was a big deal to make the change when I had the opportunity. Because, so I'm the youngest of 5 boys. So I never got to go to the grocery store with my mom and make the call on what the snacks she would buy were, right? We took what we got, and that's how it was until my oldest brother started being able to somehow get all this power and get like a few snacks, right? So he went with, normal nacho cheese like everybody else did. And then I remember when I got to the age where my mom let me do it, make the pick, right, at the grocery store, that I wanted to go with Cool Ranch. And I remember being like, this is like a really big commitment I'm making. I remember really thinking this. Like, that's how crazy it was when this first came out. This was a really big deal. When Cool Ranch came out, it was huge.
You're the youngest of 5 boys.
Wow.
Oh yeah, 6 of us.
Good Lord.
Calculon.
No wonder you can scrap. You. Yeah. Lord, man.
Dude, you see this nose? None of this is from wrestling. It's from their asses kicking me.
Are any of them as tall as you or taller?
6'8", 6'9", 6'6", 6'4".
Man, that's a family reunion I wouldn't want to bust.
But
down.
I'm the biggest, but I wasn't.
Calculon on $1.99. This is more exciting than tonight's Raw. There you go. There you have it. So let's talk about this WrestleMania news, which, Matt, what'd you think of the WrestleMania skit tonight with Triple H and Stephanie, John Cena, Sasha Banks, and Roman Reigns?
I will just go on record by saying Sasha Banks is a hell of an actress.
Yeah. You know that if you watched The Mandalorian, if you weren't telling your filthy lies.
I would have, but I lied. I know. I know. But listen, she was really good in that, I thought. The rest of them, it's not their fault. They had to do it. It was stupid. Hunter and Stephanie, that was corny as hell.
It was very Anchorman vibes. I've heard from people that worked on this product. There's some great outtakes, which hopefully they make public somehow in a YouTube video or something.
But real quick, at the same time, I want to give like someone like Stephanie credit for going all out like that and going all in. They did go. She especially, I thought, went more all in than Hunter did on it.
Right. I mean, she looked at Hunter at one point and did like the tiger growl. And I mean,
that's exactly what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Like that's pretty out there. That was pretty good. But like other than that, dude, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind for those who aren't aware, this was not the first time this became public. Raw aired it tonight, but they released this on Friday or Saturday night.
I saw it after the AJ Styles documentary, actually, on the network. Yeah.
Yeah, they revealed it a couple days ago. So, look, this is cool. I mean, this is here's the news. So, because I've seen people in the chat asking what the news is. I guess they missed it. So this year, WrestleMania, it actually got pushed back from what it originally was going to be. Originally this year in 2021, it's supposed to be in LA. It's not going to happen. They're doing a redo. They're going to put it back in Raymond James Stadium in Tampa the way it should have been in 2020. They pushed it back a week because it was going to be on April 11th and April 12th. It's going to be 2 nights. So last year was 2 nights in the Performance Center. God, how terrible that was. They're going to do it in the stadium, and they're going to allow fans. We don't know how many fans. For reference, the Tampa Bay Bucks, who play football in that stadium, they allow about 14,000 fans for their game.
Oh, wow.
So, is that what it's going to be? We don't know. We also don't know, are they going to do a la carte each night of ticket, or will you have an option to bundle tickets to where you can make one transaction, have access to both nights? These are all things we don't know. It's all part of what we have to wait to see. And then next year, 2022, they're going to go back to AT&T Stadium in Dallas. And then in 2023, they are finally going to get to that new SoFi Stadium in LA where they should have been in 2021. So this is, WWE normally never, actually, this is unprecedented. They've never announced where Manias are going to be this far out. They're giving us the calendar. It's 2 nights this year. And one thing I want to toss out to you guys real quick. I was texting with somebody earlier tonight about this. We were curious about what the prices might be. WWE's having to have the stadium 2 nights. They're losing out on having a capacity crowd. So will they make the prices higher? But also something else to consider. Okay, so you already wonder, are people going to travel out of state into Florida? Maybe that affects their job. Maybe that affects their kids' school. Do they have to quarantine? What have you? Here's the other thing. Ooh. We don't think there's going to be any international travel. Hopefully things in April are better in this country. But I don't know if our new administration coming in is going to have any real international travel. If you've ever been to WrestleMania in the last decade, and I've been to the last 10, international fans easily make up 40% of the total audience. So without them, I'm curious what the demand's going to be. Are WrestleMania tickets going to sell quickly, or are they going to be out there on the black market?
I think so. Here's why I think so, because of the fact fans have had to wait so long to finally get their WWE again in person. Right. And I'll also make the argument they're only putting in, what did you say, 13 to 15,000 fans. So this isn't, they're not trying to sell, 100,000 tickets at, they're not at AT&T this year, for example, right? They're not trying to fill that stadium. They're just trying to do what they can here at Raymond James here in Tampa, and 15,000, that's doable here in America, I think, of American fans.
Oh yeah, and I don't think they're going to really go for it with the prices, because I think the demand isn't quite there yet. People aren't nearly back to their old habits. However, I'm predicting this, man. I think in 2022, 2023, we are going to see an unprecedented level of travel once the majority of the population is vaccinated.
Yeah, but did you see what's happened with some airlines? Airlines have gone, I think it's Delta.
I know.
Where they're on purpose cutting, what they say, 15%?
Yeah.
of what they'll allow to travel moving forward, which I think is incredibly responsible.
And that's what I'm saying. So I think vacation prices are going to skyrocket. I mean, Disneyland's doing away with their annual passes. I believe Disney World is as well. So I think there's going to be unprecedented demand.
But they're cutting how many people can travel.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The demand will be there. The demand will come back, even with the safety. So I think vacation prices. So this year, whatever Mania is, if you're willing to risk it, and I'm not advising that anyone should, but I think Mania this year will be value priced to sell those tickets so they can look like it was a win. But I think next year, I think the year after, I think we're going to see prices spike on airfare, hotels, live events, because people are going to try and make back that money, and there's going to be more demand.
So if I did this, I would wear gloves. Like when the pandemic first hit, dude, I was wearing gloves and a mask everywhere. Everywhere. And then anytime I touch something, I'd take the damn gloves off, put another pair on. I think that's what I would do if I went to Mania. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm not touching nothing technically, right? And then just try to be as careful as humanly possible, and take it obviously as serious as you can, while at the same time trying to, I know this is oxymoronic, let your mind go a little bit and caught up in some good old wrestling again.
Yeah. No, I know. I mean,
and still a lot of unknowns. They haven't said doing 2 months again what that's going to do to, there's no Hall of Fame last year. They said they're going to push Hall of Fame to this year. We don't know about Hall of Fame, about NXT TakeOver.
They should just do it online.
Yeah. We don't know.
Give us something to watch.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. So much unknown. We don't know how the seating is going to go. It's
no
Stellar
offense,
Justin Lopez. Sorry. Stellar Justin Lopez, $4.99. Them doing Dallas over LA next year tells me that Taker's going into the Hall of Fame, and I think Vince thinks he can set a new record attendance post COVID.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that comment, Justin Lopez. It's pretty damn smart. That's a good call.
No, I agree. So tonight, Alexa's Playground with Asuka as the guest. What'd you think of this? She stops Asuka from sitting on Bray's swing on the swing set.
Get your ass off.
Yeah, like this was cool tonight. I like how Asuka's like a little dumbfounded and weirded out by Alexa.
Yes, that's why this is great. I thought that listen. Everyone crapped on it. What was it, a couple weeks ago? As long as that playground is physically set up, I don't see anything bad about it. I'm sorry. I don't think you can mess it up. I think it's cool. It's different. And I'm going to keep going down this rabbit hole with her. I love what Alexa Bliss is doing. She got crap for the fireball. I'm like, what do you people want? That is the best fireball I have seen in wrestling. Yes, I'm saying that comment. That is the best fireball I have ever seen. And there are some good ones that have been able to do it the proper way, not Ultimate Warrior Hulk Hogan style, but Mid-South Wrestling style that have done it right. Jerry King Lawler, for example. But that one that she did versus Randy was awesome. I thought that was really good, and people crapped on it, and I don't know why. And I'm going to keep going down rabbit hole with her. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I like this. They keep adding to the playground thing. They added like some green felt to look like grass. They added more colors and more stuff to the swing set. And I mean, this is, I buy into this entertainment stuff. I know on Wednesday nights, everything is AEW wrestling, but I still buy in and get hooked on this entertainment stuff. And I thought this was really good. And then the fact they did this segment, and then like Asuka disappears from the segment, and they're still trying to tell you, come back, these two are going to be in the ring for a match. I was like, all right, this is a little weird. But then when I saw that they positioned it as a main event for the night, I was like, all right, they're going to do something. And they did, which we'll get to.
Yeah, they did do something.
Yeah, I mean, this was a good build. I think this was a very good way to build it. Really set the stage for something unpredictable. Mandy Rose versus Shayna Baszler. Tonight, Shayna Baszler pretty easily getting a win, but then Dana Brooke after beating up Nia Jax. And they're teasing this tension between Nia and Shayna ahead of the Royal Rumble, which I think is smart. But yeah, what'd you think of the match and these developments with Nia and Shayna?
Justin, you take it.
Yeah. Didn't really care, I mean, like Nia. I mean, Nia and Shayna keep having this like odd couple thing where they're constantly looking over each other's shoulder. That's fine. They're both alpha females, but I just don't really care. I think Mandy Rose looks good. I think she's been talk about the last 2 years, very, very much improved talent, so that's cool to see her. But I don't. This is one of those segments where I was very much tuned out.
Huh?
Yeah. You don't like that, Glenn? You don't like that, eh?
I mean,
you don't like how dismissive Justin LaBar was to the female sex, do you, Glenn?
Get off
I'm joking.
my
I'm putting words in both. I'm putting words in both of their mouths.
I think Dana beating up Nia was a very good moment for Dana, and it made sense because of the way that they've been treated in recent weeks by Nia and Shayna. I think that they're actually making Dana and Mandy look like, finally, like a month in, look like they actually can wrestle a match and have a chance against Shayna and Nia.
Now, here's my question, though. And this is where I get in trouble, and I admit it on all the podcasts for all that I do here at Wrestling Inc. Are we being honest that it isn't too far past the point of no return for them because of how they've been booked previously, especially her, which sucks because, you know what I mean? Because we're fans of hers. We want to see her do well and be treated finally the right way, booked the right way. But if this was anybody else, if this was Cesaro, if this was Rude, if this was anybody else, I'd be like, yes, I like those talents, but it's too late. I can't unsee what I've seen for so long with the piss poor booking of these talents. How do I just forget it happened? So I have to ask that question here. I can't just say because I love her to death as a fan and I want to see good things happen that I can just overlook all that as far as suspending my disbelief in what I saw tonight.
No, I think it took too long to get here, Matt. I think this should have happened weeks ago, giving them some dominance. You know, Justin?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm all for this. Alexa Bliss Fiend stuff is tied with the Roman stuff as my favorite stuff. So I'm
hell yeah, Justin. Yeah.
David Call 499 says the LaBarbarians have been buried lately. What gives? Who's booking this podcast? Mr. Justin LaBar has had better things to do than join us on Friday nights
or Monday nights.
Yeah, just better things to do all over the place.
It's a weird thing, you know what? Going into these Monday night podcasts, it's like, oh, it's 3 hours. But I will say this in contrast to the Wednesday night, like I know Wednesday night's going to be quicker. But it's also, especially me that I have to host, it is a bitch trying to watch two shows.
It is.
Like,
I agree. I agree.
No, I mean, I went in tonight like, all right, I got 3 hours. Let's put the coffee on. But I only had to watch. I didn't have to change the channel. It's a different dynamic.
Yeah, that's why I quit Wednesday nights, dude. Wednesday nights, I was like, this is way too much work to have to cover two shows and watch two shows. The condensed part makes it worse because you can't do anything else. You can't make dinner while you're trying to watch two wrestling shows, you know?
And at least you're on the West Coast. By the time we get done this, I need to be in bed. At least you have West Coast time where you can still do some other things.
Maybe. Matt's off there. We'll get to the super chat in a moment. This backstage. Okay. Matt, DNA of TNA Morgan fan, $5 saying, Matt, remember you saying you love Baszler as the Demon King more. Sadly, Vince said in summer he's not a fan of that, so don't expect to see it on the main roster.
Okay. Thank you very much for paying to tell me that. Okay. Raj thanks you.
And he also says Justin's been busy buying suits. He likes suits. Nothing wrong with that.
What?
I mean, I got a strong suit game, but I don't do it at.
You got the suit connection, I thought.
I don't do it at 11 o'clock in the evening.
Oh, it's true.
I'm so confused by that comment and why they just spent money to say that.
Because the guy that does my suits is the guy that does John Cena and all the WWE superstar suits now. David Allen out of Pittsburgh. Cheap plug, David. But I haven't.
What the hell does that have to do with the guy in the comment just paying money to say something about you buying suits?
Because I'm a big suit guy because of that, but I haven't been buying suits on a Monday night, so I don't know what he's talking about.
And if you want Matt Morgan to roast you for free and tell you your question is stupid, be sure to join us on the after show. After show 118 and record your audio message so Matt Morgan can tell you what he really thinks.
I don't mean it that. Okay, fine. Maybe
if you've ever wanted to call Matt Morgan's phone and leave a voicemail, here's your chance to tell him what he thinks, what you think.
Jackson Callens 499 heading off to bed in a minute because it's quote unquote mountain time for me. That sounds like a euphemism. Glenn LOL, much love and kill it on the As It Were podcast. Thank you, Jackson.
You should be joining us, Jackson.
He should. He's got to go to sleep, man. It's almost 10 o'clock in Arizona.
It's 9:52 Mountain Time. What are you doing?
It's 11:52 where I'm at.
Me too, Matt. I'm hanging in here with you.
I went to bed at like 9:45 once last week. It was beautiful. But then I woke up at 4 a.m. and couldn't go back to sleep.
I was about to say, you cats don't get up at 4:15 a.m.
Raj needs to give a raise to anybody who's in the East Coast time zone.
Yeah, good luck with that. So Ricochet and AJ Styles tonight. This match was awesome.
Oh my God. Yes.
Ricochet should have won though over AJ.
What'd you say?
Ricochet should have won over AJ tonight though.
But then that's my next question. Is it too late? If he did, would you be like, oh, here it is. It's the push we've all been waiting for Ricochet, everybody. Yeah. No, I'd say bullshit. They're going to have him lose to friggin' Cedric Alexander the following week.
It would have been a reboot in my mind. Like, this would have been a reset.
Okay, we hope, by the way, let's be very clear. I think we love that dude on this show. I know I do, but like, again, it's another example of them. They can't let well enough be alone, meaning when they get these talents out of NXT, I know I've said this ad nauseum, but throw him into this category as well. Nakamura, Bobby Roode, Samoa Joe, the list goes on. KO even to a degree, I'll argue. Sami Zayn. That just leave them the hell alone. As how they were booked on NXT, just bring them up on the Raw and SmackDown. Let them do that. You would have been fine with this kid doing that, I think. And guess what else, WWE? People need to win matches. They need to win matches. And he really needed to win matches when he first got brought in, and continue to win matches, and so on. And he'd be a huge star right now, in my opinion, if they did that. He can't make that happen. And I don't want to hear this bullshit that, well, it's up to the talents to go out there and get a reaction from the fans. And then once they get over with them, that's when they'll be booked. No. Part of getting over with them, the fans, WWE, is guess what? They need to get wins as part of that formula.
Yeah. No, and this was good tonight. I mean, even the interplay they had before, this is what, this was the first spot in the Royal Rumble match. So Ricochet losing this is just absurd when it was such a good match. Justin, your great point.
Which by the way, you mentioned that, Glenn. They are so inconsistent. Of somebody sits and ponders and thinks hard. I'm going to declare for the Royal Rumble. I am going to declare for a spot where I don't even have to pin anybody. I just don't have to get thrown over a rope, and I can go to the main event of WrestleMania. And they have other people who are having to fight matches for it. It's like, wouldn't you be more concerned about like making the cut of being one of the 30 individuals who gets to be in the Royal Rumble? So that bothers me. Look, they try to do a little promo in gorilla position, and they bring up 50 First Dates, which is a movie that came out 15 freaking years ago. So what kind of reference is that? But
I like that it was very different. The way AJ acknowledged it was clever.
I guess. But look, and Ricochet, and if word gets back to Ricochet, he is an athletic stud, and seeing what he and AJ could do was fun to watch from an athletic.
Yes.
He's in good shape.
Great shape.
But I go back and there's controversy over his contract and reports this past week. It turns out he is signed, I think, through like 2024. So he's got stability. He's got stability. So good for him in terms of that, of getting paid. He can't go anywhere else, but good for him. He's getting paid. But I say this over and over. Can do great things in the ring. Promo, no. He doesn't have that talk me in the building. He doesn't have that talk me in the building thing, which
not his fault. Here's why it's not his fault.
But that's forever going. That's going to keep his ceiling here forever.
Okay, but that's not his fault. You get more confidence when you get more camera time, when you get the opportunity to get the microphone. That's how you think AJ has done so well. Yeah. You think he was just like random? I'm sure he worked on his promo, don't get me wrong. But a big part of it was the confidence boost he got in the company giving him the mic so damn much. Until, go back and watch his early promos when he got to SmackDown, or WWE in general. They were like they were at TNA. You could see his dramatic improvement since. He's a great promo now. One of the best, actually, if you watch AJ's promos. Something people didn't think was possible for him, that was always his weakness. They said the same thing about him that everyone's saying about Ricochet right now. And I lived through it at TNA with him, so I know it firsthand. And it's bullshit. It's bullshit because you have to have the opportunity to be able to improve. And some people get it, some people don't. You get confidence, though, when the company is giving you mic time after mic time after mic time, week after week after week. If they want him to improve, improve, fine. Have him go to the NXT promo classes. Have him watch himself on videos as much as humanly possible. Great. But then when TV comes, give him time. And when you do that, he'll start to get more confident. They started to give him like some backstage crappy promos where they were overwriting for him, and you could tell they were making him uncomfortable, saying things he wouldn't normally say. And when that happens, and I go back to my stuttering character, there is nothing worse than being forced to say things that you don't say, that you have to nickel and dime the writers every other word and say, I really don't talk like this. I don't say these words. Oh, well, that's, you're too educated. You're whatever the hell it was, too polished. Like, what the frig is that? Are you kidding me? What an oxymoronic thing to tell somebody, right? But like, seriously. So like, I don't think it's on him. I really don't. And I'm not making excuses for him.
No, that's fair.
He's not a good promo right now. You're correct. He's not. But I don't think it's fair to give him the full criticism, and not this damn writing team for not giving him the same opportunities they did give other smaller guys like AJ, Daniel Bryan, who improved immensely. Daniel Bryan as well is another great example. He wasn't a good promo. He became a great promo, though.
Yeah, and it's fair. And just to wrap it up, that's fair. And if he can get the promo down, he's got a great entrance with the smoke. I think his music is a really good. Like, I mean, he's got a lot of other parts.
Looks like a movie star to me.
Yeah, right. So if he can get the promo, good for him. And again, I'm not trying to pick on him. I'm just saying that, like, right now, that's my disconnect from him. As
a lot of people say it. You're not. More people say it than they don't. Actually, you're right.
He seemed best tonight. He seemed very comfortable on the mic. AJ gave him some stuff to play off of. This was good tonight. I hope this was finally the turn we've been waiting for in his momentum.
Doesn't matter.
He lost the match. He lost the match to get into the Royal Rumble. Ricochet should be in the Royal Rumble. That should be a no-brainer.
Yes.
Nightmare Knee, $5. Got nothing to say. Just want to donate. Thank you so much.
Hey, what up, Nightmare Knee? Hey, Glenn, really quick. He'll still be in the Rumble, I feel.
Yeah.
They do this all the time. Yeah. Like, I could have sworn I beat Orlando Jordan to make entry into my Royal Rumble, and then somehow Homeboy was in the Royal Rumble with a week left to go. I'm like, what the freak was the point of our match?
Ricochet will get number 30 somehow.
Right, yeah.
And then lose. Chrono Shop, $5. WWE Untold Story of AJ Styles, really good. Love him talking about his journey landing in WWE. Matt, there was one picture of you, Styles facing Kendrick in TNA.
One picture of you, Styles facing Kendrick, TNA. Huh. I gotta go back and watch it. I watched it last night. I didn't see that. Huh.
Is that weird? I mean, do you do that? Like anytime something comes up about video games in the early 90s when I was in the industry, I'm always a little eagle-eyed with it. When I'm like, oh, maybe there's some event that I was at, you could see me, or there's something, you know. But do you do that, or do you just tune it out now and you're just like surprised when you're
tuning it out and surprised? And a fan like that pointed out to me on Twitter or something. Yeah.
Cool. NYC Team and Diva 299 saying masked Randy Orton can get it.
That's my girl Issa.
That's the best comment of the night.
And she's good, guys. Look her up. You can find her on social media.
Yeah. She's great.
I know Issa personally. She has got a great, sassy, fun take on wrestling. So look her up and follow her.
I was going to say, is she a wrestler?
No, she's not a wrestler. She's just a good, fun pundit. She's from New York City. She's a fun person. I follow her.
Yeah. And she's fantastic. She's in our chat room most weeks, and a very great member of our community as well. Steve Marcuccioli, $4.99. Will Rock versus Roman be a 2-match series starting in WrestleMania Dallas?
You don't bring Rock around until you have fans. You don't have enough pipe. Yeah. You don't have enough fake sound to pipe in. You don't waste Rock on no audience.
Okay, fine, but I still want him at WrestleMania. I know we're not getting him, but
yeah. Bigfoot Secret, $4.99. Quick question. Next year's WrestleMania, will you guys have the podcast live at a location? Last year I was planning to see you guys in person. Well, not this year, pretty safe to say, but Dallas next year. I mean, hey,
the last time Mania was in Dallas, I did one of my best live events. We had Matt Hardy and others at a location that had a great stage, a great bar and restaurant that is across the street from AT&T Stadium. So I hope to get this crew plus Raj and plus some special fun guests. And I still have a good connection with that bar. I'm hoping that I was thinking that today. Hope we're all back in Dallas.
My wife and I were talking about it over the weekend. Like, man, once we are vaccinated, once the majority of the population is vaccinated, like, we've got so much travel we want to do. And I think going to Mania in Dallas again would be incredible.
I told my mom this weekend, they dropped our age here in Florida to 65.
Oh, wow.
So I was able to take my mom to get it done. She's already got her second appointment set for her second vaccine.
That's awesome.
And we're getting a lot of our population down here done with it. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to having the opportunity, but I know we're nowhere near top of the list.
We're nowhere near it.
Yeah. David Call, $1.99. Matt Morgan, no crescendos tonight.
Oh, it's coming, David Call. It's got to be in there somewhere. I will almost guarantee it.
Justin Lopez, $4.99. Ricochet has not been booked on a pay-per-view since last year's Rumble. Really?
What the freak? Really? Ugh.
Yeah.
No, that's weird. James Zimbicki, $5. Hey guys, what is everyone feeling on these new cameras on the entrances? So they're using like 8K cameras now or something like that?
So they're using so it started with Fox. If you're a football fan, Fox has these 8K cameras that they use just for the end zone rover cam. So basically that means just when somebody gets into the end zone, no other time. And they do it, and the focus is so hard on the person in the foreground, it looks like a video game because everything else is in such blurred. Well, now they did it on SmackDown. I don't know. Like, now WWE, I guess, purchased them for Raw, and so when you watch the entrances, you see the talent in such focus, and everything else is in such blur. It looks like virtual reality or
it looks dope, and it does what it's supposed to do. If you're not going to have fans in an arena, cool, then we don't need to see them on the borders of my TV screen during a wrestler's entrance. This puts the paramount of importance and detail, right, funneled on that talent, and it makes them look like a bigger star for what it's worth.
Yeah, the only thing I noticed, they won't they cut away from the 8K cameras for any pyro. So they must have seen something about the pyro being out of focus that doesn't get the full effect. They always cut away for the pyro, which I actually think,
because you can't do the super zoom, whatever the hell you want to call. I don't know what the hell it's called, but whatever it does that zooms in the talent, you can't do it with the pyro.
Right, but I actually think it would be an interesting, I thought for Jeff Hardy when he does this little dance, I thought keep that 8K shot on him. Let me see the pyro out of focus, and that might even look cool.
Out of focus, yeah.
But they didn't want to do it. They cut away to their side number 7 camera.
So because think about it, pyro costs a lot of dough.
Sure.
A lot of dough. TNA used to blow $50,000 worth of pyro every TV taping.
You guys had every wrestler down to the curtain jerker had pyro in TNA at one point.
Good. Pyro's a must.
Yeah. Here's my question. Do they have a gorilla position set right now? Because I've noticed so much stuff lately is happening in gorilla position. That can't be like Vince isn't sitting right in the corner of that room.
Yes.
No, he is.
Yes.
That's the same reel, like right off to the left there.
Yep.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Depending on what side of the hard camera is on in that stadium.
Okay.
Well, it's the same stadium. So what am I saying? Yes, that's legit.
They just
Very.
they will turn off some monitors and some things that are within the gorilla position. But that's them.
But that's the setup. That's the table.
Yeah.
Those are the monitors.
Yep.
That's what it looks like when wrestlers walk back there, essentially. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, got it. So let's talk about the dirt sheet tonight. Oh, good Lord. We actually have to talk about this. Gilbert, and I'm pretty sure that was David Krumholtz from Numbers and Adam's Family Values as Drew McIntyre. This was bad. You know what? Like, we shouldn't talk about this. This was terrible.
Terrible.
The worst thing all year on WWE TV.
And this kills Drew McIntyre. This was terrible. This kills Drew.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have a weird soft spot because I've known Dwayne Gill since I was a kid.
Sure.
Personally, so I love seeing the Gilbert thing, but yeah, this was kind of like here's the one thing I'll say. So aside from the Gilbert and the fake Drew, I like the synergy of we got Goldberg versus Drew, which everybody's like, well, is Drew's going to lose to Goldberg? And that we all wondered, why did Miz take that Money in the Bank from Otis? Why is he holding on to it? Rarely do we get into a new year where somebody has a Money in the Bank briefcase. Normally, they've already blown it in the calendar year prior. So I like the synergy of it seems like Miz might be doing something at Rumble, or that's the big shtick here. So I like that. But otherwise, yeah, it was just a big comedy.
It was bad.
Yeah, comedy fail.
It was bad all around. The less we talk about it, the better. Darian Moore, $5 saying, what do you think about The Rock producing a cinematic match with him and Roman? That seems like a way. I mean, I get why it would be safer, be easier, but again, The Rock in a crowd is such money.
you need to rock with a crowd. You just do. I agree with you, but for what it's worth, later on down the road, Rock versus anybody, a cinematic match could be cool. I don't want to see Rock and Roman in a cinematic match. They don't need it. I want to see them in an actual wrestling ring.
So the less we talk about the Gilbert and David Krumholtz thing, the more time we can talk about Riddle and the Lucha House Party versus the Hurt Business tonight.
Which of these do not look like the other?
Which is fine, right? I mean, it's cool.
I just think if suspension of disbelief purposes, that they would get absolutely worked.
I mean, I
get
like
wrestling's not a shoot, so don't get me wrong, but I don't know. You know what I think of Lucha House Party, man? That it can't make me unsee the burial that I've witnessed for 2 years now.
Yeah. I mean, I liked MVP shouting instructions, coaching, motivating tonight during the match was good. I like that the Hurt Business won. Riddle got that cheap shot on Lashley after, but I'm kind of in favor of Riddle just getting beat up every week.
I'm not hating it.
Justin?
I don't know. I like Matt Riddle, the character. I don't really know what I.
Yeah.
But you like the character, really?
Because we're talking about the actual, like, of course we're talking about the character.
No, but my point is that, like, the issue I have with Matt Riddle, I like as a person, whatever, it's like the character. I get that he was in MMA. I get that he's an actual athlete. I get that he's talented and go in the ring, but just this character, like, just like, I just like cringe. Like,
because it's horrible. What do you mean? Of course you do.
So that's why when Justin says he likes the character, I'm just like,
well, I mean, like, I enjoyed him in NXT. I enjoy him. Once again, another story. Go from NXT to Raw or SmackDown. Vince has an interpretation of you.
True.
That's fair. The guy that kicks the flip flops.
That's fair.
You know, but I
no, that's a fair. That's very fair to throw him in that same category of guys and girls that have been effed over and getting messed with instead of just letting them do what they did on NXT that made them successful. I agree. Matt's one of them.
Terry Allen Jr. saying about the cameras, it's depth of field. That's what makes the background a blur. Thank you, Terry. So after this pre-recorded message from Drew McIntyre, he's still out with COVID or his COVID test. We don't know if he's symptomatic or not. But do you think it's weird, Matt, Justin, that they're like announcing he's going to be back next week with Goldberg? Like, I don't know.
That who's going to be back in a week with Goldberg?
Drew's going to be next week on Monday Night Raw, back on Monday Night Raw.
Okay. Why is that?
I don't know. Well, because, I mean, they tell you this about any sort of illness. Like,
but he
that's right, because of Drew and his virus. I'm so stupid. I'm sorry.
He tested positive from today, Monday, the 18th. He tested positive 8 days ago. So by the following Monday, I mean, he beats the 2-week thing. And I mean, I'm sure
pending he tests negative. What happens if he doesn't?
Right. Well, yeah, if he doesn't, then they call an audible. But you know,
yeah, it just seems odd, optimistic. And I would say that about any else. I would tell that with someone that had food poisoning, like a week maybe, but we don't know for sure.
We wouldn't care as much.
Yeah, okay, maybe not food poisoning, but with anything.
And I just want to say this, cheap plug, but there's a purpose. Every Friday I'm doing Busted Open with Mark Henry, Dave LaGreca, and Mark and I were talking about this just recently because Mark has been there at these Raw tapings. Like, aside from the testing and those basic protocols and temperature, like he's talking about. They have the filters through the air that's filtering the air, and they're doing. There's all kinds of things at the hotel, at the venue that they are doing to try to make this as safe as an environment, which I don't think is getting enough public.
No, they're not. They're not. I've had friends that have done extra work there that even they get broken down into their own tent outside of the damn place. They do a ton of precautions. You're absolutely right. It's not talked about.
Yeah, people aren't talking. So I just, again, it was a cheap plug for me, but Mark was saying, and he's obviously a credible source. So like, yeah, I know people can say, there's a risk. Like Ric Flair's back on TV, it's a risk. He's in his 70s, but they are using their financial resources and their whatever
to try to give them the best opportunity possible to not get this crap. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. Frank Aguilera, $4.99 with all these dated 80s references. This is truly the review podcast for divorced 40-year-old truckers, revealing some stuff about yourself there, Frank. But thank you for your super chat. So Jeff Hardy versus Jackson Riker, they were teasing some tension between Jeff Hardy and Jackson. Jeff Hardy, or between Jackson and Elias, pardon me. Jeff Hardy won by DQ tonight. I mean,
nobody cares. Nobody cares. Jeff Hardy fans don't even care, which is impossible.
I think Jeff Hardy doesn't even care.
Because they care about everything Jeff does normally. They don't care about this
either. Let's talk about this main event. Asuka versus Alexa Bliss.
Main event, Glenn, women.
No, absolutely. And Alexa, I've wanted Dark Alexa to take on Asuka for months now. It was great she got the win. It was great she no-sold. She no-sold all of Asuka's offense.
Magic powers.
Yep. Exactly. She was channeling Bray and doing some of his moves, doing Sister Abigail. It was weird with her mouthing the let me in thing at the end, but I really like this.
I don't care. I'll take it.
Yeah. What were the other big moments that stuck out to you tonight?
Dude, that at the end, okay, you're right. That was a little weird, but fine. I'll take it because of what we got, everything else before it. Loved her. I've been saying now for months, she needs to be I know it sounds so corny, but what I say, wizardly, magicianly, superpowerly. I'm making up words here.
Supernatural.
Supernatural. She has to have supernatural powers. She needs to be like Undertaker style. And, oh, come on, Matt. How she could just go from an ordinary person to this all of a sudden? I don't care. I wanted it. I got it. And I was happy to see her in the no-selling part of this doing just that. I like it. I like the entire thing. And Asuka, again, you know what? For a talent that does nothing but speak Japanese mainly the entire time she talks, dude, you know what she is thinking. She is so good at pantomiming. She did a great job of being like, what the freak am I against? You know what I mean? Just her body language. Seriously, she doesn't get enough credit on that. She always gets all the credit in the world on being this 5-star stud-ass wrestler that she is, right? But she's also very, very effective on getting other talents over, as well as, I'll argue, promos even though she's out, even in the ring, just sitting out there spitting nothing but, Japanese, you still know what she's saying, if that makes sense. You know what she's getting at. And it was very important because she did a great job of playing off of her tonight. And that plays a bigger part in getting Alexa even more over, because this was a badass Alexa beat tonight.
This was a great win for Alexa, but here's what this main event was. They are taking advantage once again of having a closed set. There's no live fans. So they're able to pull off the parlor tricks of Alexa doing a match with Asuka. Alexa comes back. They come back from we teased a break. It's the shutdown sounds and lights, like a fiend's coming. We come back.
Right.
Alexa's there, black makeup. She ends up getting the victory, and then snap of a finger, parlor, movie trick. She's back to being normal Alexa.
So what?
No, this is great. What I'm saying is this was a great use of, again, they have the advantage of no fans, so they can pre-record stuff the same way they did Alexa's fireball to Randy Orton. We say it's the best fireball. Yeah, because they got to freaking do it in a million takes, and they got to control the environment.
Yeah.
This is one of the few things that's nice about this effing virus situation, is that they're in a closed set. They can pre-tape things, and they can get it perfect. And this is a great example. And now we're on the hook. She's possessed by Let Me In, by the Fiend's voice. And we're going to Rumble. This was a good ending. Raw was long. It's always freaking long. 3 hours is too long for every week. But there were high points, and this was a high point. And I'm all for it. Glenn, you're muted.
This was a great way to end the show. It was fantastic. Gringo $3 pointing out Ric Flair almost died last year. He shouldn't be there. I mean, Ric Flair's going to do what Ric Flair's going to do.
No offense, Gringo. He's a grown ass man, and I think him and his family can make that decision.
Not to mention, if you're Ric Flair in your 70s and you live through the hard traveling road that he did, you're naturally going to build up an immune of like, I'm going to do this. Like,
look, I mean, we've all got family members, I'm sure, and friends and people that are.
I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan in general. I mean, no disrespect to the kid that wrote that or the guy that wrote that. Yeah. But in general, in life, in society, in this country, I'm just not a fan of people being the long arm of the law on what people should or shouldn't be doing. I'm just not. We're all responsible adults. People can make up their own decisions based on the facts we have from the CDC on how to not get this virus.
On that note, what's going on with Mark Henry and Ryback?
All right, last thing here. There is no way I'm ever going to recite this word for word. Go to Wrestling Inc. We have everything. I'll give you the cliff notes. I'll give you the spark notes if you got to write a book report. Here it is. The Fox on WWE Twitter account last Friday had, talked about put out a tweet about, dream matches for championships. Ryback, who's very outspoken on social media, said, "Oh, championships in wrestling, it's all a prop and it doesn't mean anything, blah, blah, blah." Well, then Mr. Mark Henry, he responds and he's like, you know what? Like, Ryback, no, like it's predetermined, but it still means that like you work to a certain point. And you were given the
It's a crowning achievement. The company believes in you. You're the hood ornament of the company. That's a big deal, whether it's not a real championship, whatever you want to make fun of it as a prop. I'm sorry. It's a major honor.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, mind you, most of these Ryback tweets that I am paraphrasing have since been deleted.
Oh.
Again, go to Wrestling Inc. They can give you precise. I'm giving the cliff notes because it is time for us to get out of here in a minute. All right, so that happens. So then Ryback's like, Ryback then goes back and is like, you know what, Mark Henry, of course they had a WrestleMania match, and Ryback even cites that at the WrestleMania match of I think it was Mania 29, if my history remembers right. He says, "Oh, Mark Henry, he was taking a nap in Gorilla before a match, and this agent even said, 'Look at this fat piece of shit, and you got to work with him.'" And Ryback says, John Cena even said, "Oh, I don't want to work with Mark Henry live events," just slamming Mark. So then Mark comes back on Busted Open that he's on regularly. And Mark says, first off, it's like a long known thing. I take some naps. It's just what it is. But like, I'm still ready to work. It's what's part of my routine. And oh, by the way, you outed John Cena for his comments. Name the agent who called me a piece of shit. I will gladly like to reach out to them. Just really kind of going back and forth debunking here. And the big quote from Mark Henry today was, "I'll take a nap every day, and I'm still better than that mother effer." So Ryback and Matt,
multi-time champ, right? Didn't Mark win the championship more than once, or am I making that up?
No, he did. So that's the kind of that's what's going on here. And again, full transparency, I said it, and I'll because I know that somebody in the comments are going to say this. I'm on Fridays every week with Mark. I text Mark Henry on Busted Open on Sirius. I texted Mark earlier saying, "Hey, I'm going to talk about this tonight," and Mark just simply said, "I've said what I'm going to say. I'm not going to waste any more time with it." So go ahead and read what you want to read. But, Ryback, who has been many headlines for his comments. And Ryback made a threat. He made a physical threat to Mark Henry. Like at first he was like, "Oh, I feel bad that Mark's being a puppet to WWE. I would break Mark." And then Mark came back at him saying,
"Really?
I might be." Yeah, Mark came back and said, "I might be 50 years old, but I'm still more of a man than most men want to ever deal with." So
he said, "Wait, time out." Ryback said like he could take Mark Henry.
Yes, he did. So,
yeah. Okay, Mark's a little bit older. I will say that. But with that said, dude, I've watched the man bend steel.
Yeah,
it's not a work. And just because he's a big, fun-loving guy that loves to make people smile, he's always in a great mood. He's the guy you want in a locker room. And I was with him in OVW when Mark was always getting hurt a lot. I believe I remember, like, was the down, like what people would talk smack about Mark, but oh, he's down here again because he got hurt. Oh, blah, blah, something negative, right? And once he started to get back up there again on TV and he started to get his run, dude, there wasn't one of us that wasn't cheering him on, because that's the dude that everybody loves. That's the dude you want to see succeed. And Mark wasn't lazy by any stretch of the imagination. Mark would drive me. I'll never forget this. Mark drove me in his Porsche Cayenne. I remember showing off to my friends back home on my cell phone. I was so not amazed. What's the word? Impressed by this, I guess. I don't know. Marking out. It was like my first month in OVW. And he's driving me to a house show in bumfuck Indiana that Mark Henry was making a lot of money at this time. Couldn't afford to get hurt again. And what's he doing? He's driving the rookie. I should have been driving Mark Henry, just to be clear. But Mark was cooler than hell, saying, don't waste your gas money on this. I got you. And drive me, talk to me the whole way there, what I got to do to work like a big guy and helping me. And then gets in the ring and wrestles me on this house show. I mean, he doesn't have to do any of that. He could have told Jim Cornette and company, I ain't wrestle Matt Morgan. He's greener than goose shit and he's going to injure me. No. And he didn't do that. Mark's a good dude, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one last note. That's a great story, Matt. One last note. Latest. This, I don't know if this has been on Wrestling Inc. yet. Chris Jericho chimed in on Twitter, and I'm reading Chris's tweet here. He said, for the record, Mark Henry is a great worker, a true gentleman, and a strong as fuck for reals.
Yep.
He also
for reals is right.
He also made all the towns and ate all the crow for years until he figured the shit out and became a true main event star for WWE.
Amen, Chris Jericho.
He also attacked me in a hotel room once, grr. So, just again, I
perfectly put, because it was toward Mark's end of career when he finally got, he did figure so much of this out, became one of the best heels. Go back to his promo when he faked retirement. There was not a wrestling fan in America or this world that did not bite on that.
Oh, even that,
with the salmon jacket with John Cena and the internet rumors.
Yep.
Yeah, hook, line, and sinker. And again, my only experience with Mark is recently on this kind of situation. Obviously, Matt, you have great insight from riding in a car. It just seems, and I know, it just seems, Ryback saying what he wants to say, you're entitled to your opinion, but
yeah, everyone's entitled to say what they want.
But when Ryback's tweeting stuff, which he's then deleting,
sure,
and then Mark's coming back and giving a fulfilled answer to, man, it just.
I feel bad for Mark, though. Honestly, Mark is such a good dude. I don't want to hear people talking smack about him, hurting his feelings like that. That sucks.
Yeah,
I know that sounds.
I'll say this. The last line that Mark texted me earlier was, "My feelings ain't hurt."
Oh, good. I feel better. Okay, good.
He said, "My feelings ain't hurt." So let's just leave it.
Dude, he's such a good dude. He's the guy that gets everybody's energy up and wants you to smile, wants you to be happy. You're in the middle of a damn 2.5 week tour overseas. You want to just end it. You're so just out of your head at this point.
Yeah.
And Mark's one of those guys that has a big smile on his face, happy to be here. And we'll talk to you about something that has nothing to do with wrestling to get you out of your head. I mean, dude, I can't say enough good things about the guy. He's a good dude.
No, he's very well regarded. Well, this has been great. So, Justin, great to do this with you again.
Yes.
It's been a while.
Yes.
Soon, Fridays, hopefully. Maybe Mondays. Yes. We'll see. I know we got Alfred in the mix as well. So everyone, coming up here in like 4 minutes, Matt Morgan and I are going to jump over to the Stereo app for the after show, as it were. Go to bit.ly/aftershow118, or you can check out the link that's on my Twitter or Matt's Twitter. Sign up for the Stereo app, and you can ask us voice messages, record audio files to ask us questions during the show. And now, even if you're listening to this later, you can still go to this link and you can listen to the show on demand. Greatly appreciate your support. Stereo is coming on as a sponsor of this podcast, and we're going to be doing this additional content weekly, Matt and myself on Monday nights. And yeah, check it out. We'll be over there in a few minutes. So download the app now, get all signed up, and we'll catch you on the after show. And then Justin and Matt will be back this Wednesday to cover AEW and NXT. So until next time, we'll catch you back here